everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'm sorry that the backdrop slash lighting is like kind of weird, but I'm in an Airbnb and I'm literally flying home from Peru today when I'm filming this, so that is why everything's just a little bit makeshift. But sadly, it is, when I'm saying this, basically a week till results day, and when you're watching this it's going to be 2 days till A-level results day, and gee whiz, I do not envy you guys at all. Like, honestly, that's some mad stuff. Not the one. This time last year I was low-key, no, not even low-key, I was high-key a mess. Like, everything was riding on it. I was like, oh my god, am I going to get into Oxford? Like, am I going to have to go through clearing? Whatever. So basically today's video is a results day Q&A, because I've already done a couple of videos on results day which I'll link below, but today's is going to be just clearing up some questions, some doubts that you guys had when I asked on Instagram. Actually, I'll put my Instagram on the screen now, so go and follow me on Instagram if you don't already, because that is literally where I ask questions for like all of my videos, and I'm trying to post more on Instagram, so you should come join us over there, please. Looking back on results day now, I've done like my first year at university is like mad, but it's nice to watch it with a bit of perspective, and I'm hoping that this year's advice video will be better than last year's advice video, because I hadn't done it last year, whereas this year I have. Before we start this video, I just wanted to say that I have put everything that you could possibly need in terms of links and information for results day in the description. I've put everything that I can think of that might be a useful resource for you, so be sure to like bookmark this video or save this video so that you can come back to the links, or copy and paste them into a notes on your phone, because they're going to be really useful on results day. And honestly, good luck. You've all worked so freaking hard. I'm so freaking proud of a lot of you, and before I even start going into the nitty-gritty of results day, just know that what you have done is your best and you deserve all of the amazing grades that I know you're going to be getting on Thursday. Please, on Thursday, tweet me, Instagram me, send me your results. I want to know, or even comment on this video. I'm so proud of you guys already. I know that you've all smashed it, and be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you find it helpful, and subscribe, because when I'm filming this, we're very close to 200,000 subscribers. So yes, okay, right, on to the video. So the first question is from Sky is Studying, and it's, do you regret making results day videos? And this is a really good question. I thought I put this at the start of the video because I think it's one that I kind of need to address. I used to watch results day videos from like year 9. I honestly would sit and watch GCSE results videos for hours on end, personally, just because I just found that it made me feel less alone. And I found that watching results day videos not only gave you an insight into like what happened on the day, but also on the nerves that everybody else is feeling and the outcome, and they're just really exciting to watch. And so I was like, I'm going to make a GCSE results video. I regret that video, not for posting it, but for the way that I dealt with it. So like, I read my results out individually, and now looking back, I just feel like a bit of a twat doing that, being like, oh, I got A star, A star, A star, A star. Like, I should have just said I got 11 A stars and an A star with distinction. That would have just been a nice thing to do. I think I was just very excited in the moment, and like, I don't know. So I regret that, but I've watched back my GCSE, my AS and my A-level results day videos, and seeing the level of maturity rise over the 3 was so nice, and I don't regret them at all, because I worked really hard for the results that I got. And I've had so many people comment on those videos being like, oh, like, you really inspired me, and these videos have been really helpful for motivation purposes and things. So no, I don't regret them. And obviously I posted my first year results day video this year, and that was a really difficult one for me to film as well, because I, for the first time, thought, oh, I could have actually done really badly on these exams, because I honestly didn't remember them. Like, I just completely detached and disassociated from everything that was going on, and I was like, I could have actually done really badly. And obviously, having got perfect grades for 3 years, the risk that I wasn't going to get the perfect grade and then ruin my streak, or like the illusion that I'd set up for myself on my channel, was a big one. So I uploaded my one this year, and that was a difficult one for me to upload, because I knew for a fact that there was a very big risk that I probably hadn't done as well as I wanted to. And thankfully that didn't happen, and despite literally just not being present for like most of the second half of first year, I somehow managed to pull it out the bag and like get the help that I needed in time to do that. And I actually found out the other day that I topped my year group, so that's news. I don't really know how the hell that happened, but then I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to upload this video, because I have literally just made a video talking about the struggles with my mental health, and I know that a lot of people struggle with mental health and don't come out the other side with good grades or the perfect grade, like, and I was like, do I want to upload it or do I not? And I decided to upload it in the end, and I don't think I regret uploading it, but I just want everyone to know that every person's struggle is difficult, and if you personally have had mental health struggles, don't compare yourself to me or to anybody else, because everyone has got different things going on in their brain and everyone deals with it differently. And just because I managed to top the year doesn't mean that I was lying, but it also doesn't mean that my struggles were as bad as other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a difficult one to talk about, but I hope you understand. So no, I don't regret. I don't regret. Did you do better than you expected to? I did way better than I expected to. Not because I hadn't like put the work in, and not because I hadn't worked towards the grades that I got, but like some of my exams last year just went so badly that I was like, there is no way that I have got the grade that I wanted. And I was genuinely like really pleasantly surprised on results day, and a lot of people thought that I was like, oh my god, you're just saying that, but like honestly I thought best case scenario would be 3 A's, which is still an amazing set of results, but like I wanted like the grades that I got, so I'm glad that I was pleasantly surprised, if that makes sense. Emma R. Barker asks, what do I need to have prepared for results day? So you need lots of things. First, you need to make sure that you've got your UCAS login, like you've got everything that you need to access the UCAS site. Also would recommend making an account on UCAS Clearing, which I'll come to later. When you're going to school, make sure you bring a friend or a family member, make sure your phone is charged, make sure you have some sort of way of accessing the internet, whether that's a phone, iPad, laptop, or if your school has computers. Have UCAS bookmarked, have the universities that you want to like do for clearing bookmarked, have everything just ready and in one place, and bring a pen, because you might need a pen. I needed a pen last year and I didn't have one, so bring a pen. Emma also asked, what time does UCAS update on results day? So I was told last year that it was 8 AM, but mine updated at like 7:30. It always updates a little bit earlier, and on every single results day video I've ever watched, trackers open early, so I would start like refreshing the login page at about 7:30. I think ours was even earlier, but around 7:30. Kate Perry asks, celebrating / being disappointed around your friends when you get different results. This is a really difficult part of A-level results day, because if you're happy there might be people that aren't, and if you're not happy there might be people that are, so it's really difficult to get that balance between enjoying and celebrating your own success but also not rubbing it in your friends' faces. I would say that with this you kind of have to play it by ear, and you just have to think, am I being respectful right now? Am I, you know, behaving in the way that I would want people to behave around me had I not been happy with my results? Don't run around like asking people what they've got and rubbing it in their faces if they clearly look visibly quite upset, and just try and be there for them as much as you can. But it is difficult when you've got results that you're happy with and they haven't, because at that point they kind of need to be with their family and with the teachers. So I would say, you know, just be there for them if they want you, but if not, then just keep your distance and wait for everything to sort of settle and process. Within about 2-3 days it will all be fine and everyone will be happy again, and you don't want to say something in the moment that you might regret later. That being said though, if you've done well, don't try and downplay your achievements just to like make other people feel better. Like if you're happy, then smile and be happy, but just make sure you're happy in the right setting with the right people, if you know what I mean. Can you please do an if don't things go to plan? So talking about clearing and stuff. Yes, so clearing is a really big part of results day. Actually, a lot of students go through clearing, and I think people don't realise that clearing, which is what you do if you miss your firm and insurance, and adjustment, which is what you do if your grades are higher than what your firm was asking and you want to stretch yourself further, are actually really popular routes of getting into university. A lot of people might have changed their idea on what course they want to do, or they didn't get the results that they wanted, or they got better results than what they were expecting. That's a really legitimate route, and one that people often overlook or like have a stigma around because they think that it's not the right thing to be doing for results day. But believe me, I know a lot of people that went to university through clearing and actually got on a better course that they were happier with than the one that they originally got. So today I'm actually working again with the Uni Compare clearing app, which I worked with last year and so many of you used, and I'm so happy that they reached out to work with me again, because this app is honestly what you need to have on your phone for results day. You know me, I don't promote things without saying it, but like genuinely, this app, if you're thinking about going through adjustment or clearing, is such an essential and will save you trawling through newspapers and online and trying desperately to find a course that suits you when you can literally have it all in one place. very conveniently, and it's great. So you put your grades in that you've got, and it will calculate the UCAS points for you, and it will automatically show you which courses on clearing you're eligible for. You can put in like your preferred area, your preferred course, and it will give you not only the universities that are offering courses, but it'll also give you information about the life there, living costs, accommodation. It will give you reviews from students. It gives you everything that you would need to be able to make a reasonable decision about what university you might want to go to through clearing or adjustment. Best thing about this app for sure is the fact that you can literally call the universities directly through the app. You don't have to trawl through the internet trying to find phone numbers and everything. It's all on the app. You just scroll through and you can click to call, or if they're not there, you can request a callback service, which is honestly so useful, because then you're not waiting around for the universities to open. They'll ring you when they're ready, and it just makes the whole communication process so much quicker and so much easier than if you were doing it all separately. So as you're going through, you can like search courses, save courses that you might be interested in, so you can compare them. You can also look at universities that are recommended for you based on the past ones that you've looked at. Everything is just in one place, and on results day, because everything is so hectic, having it literally in the palm of your hand to just do whenever you need it is honestly going to be a lifesaver. The fact that you can call every single university that has a clearing place just on this app means that there's no writing things down, there's no mess, there's no hassle. It's all just there for exactly when you need it and where you need it. You can even use this app to request an accommodation provider to get in touch with you and help you organise accommodation, because I know that that's one of the biggest worries about clearing and adjustment is, where am I going to stay? But they have a feature in the app which allows you to sort that out straight through the app as well. So literally everything you could possibly need is in this one place. If you want to download this app, I will put all the information that you need in the description. I cannot recommend this app enough. It is so useful, and I absolutely cannot recommend it enough if you are thinking of going through clearing and adjustment this year. So in terms of general tips for clearing, I would say that even if you don't think you're going to go through clearing, make an account before Thursday. And I'm not saying that because I think that you're all going to do horribly. I'm just saying that because it's nice to know that it's there, and it's nice to have looked at your options. So as I said in last year's video, I had a backup plan for if I wasn't going to go to Oxford or to Edinburgh, because I'd researched clearing courses and I knew exactly where I was going to ring if I had to ring. So make sure that you've just spent a little bit of time. Doesn't have to be long if you're really not sure that you're going to go through clearing, but just have a vague idea of what you would need to be looking for if you did go through clearing. And also, when it comes to adjustment, if you've got grades that supersede your firm offer by like a considerable margin, I would really recommend going through adjustment, because if your grades are not reflective of the course that you've picked, then adjustment can actually offer even better courses than the one that you've got accepted onto. So don't rule out adjustment as an option either. If you've done better than you thought you were going to do, then there are so many amazing courses out there that you can definitely take advantage of. Katie Ellis says, is it worth planning celebrations for the night of results day? Absolutely. Even if you are disappointed with your results, which I really hope doesn't happen, you need to go out and you need to celebrate the fact that you made it through. You made it through 2 years of stress and exhaustion, and it will make the whole day so much easier knowing that you've got something to look forward to in the evening that's not academically based. I would really recommend going out, like even if it's just to go out to cinema with your friends, or if you do like what I did and go clubbing, or you want to go for a meal, or you want to spend time with your family, or you want to treat yourself to a takeaway. Plan something, because you deserve it. Even if your grades are not what you hoped for and what you expected, you're probably going to have a stressful day trying to find somewhere else to go, or trying to like find a new plan. So I would really recommend booking something or having tickets for something that will get you through that day. And the Gem says, any recommendations for what to do the night before? So I did a live stream the night before because I was so nervous. I was like, I'm just gonna talk to everyone on Twitter and Instagram and do a live stream on YouTube. So that was what I did, but obviously I understand that like most people don't do this as a job, so that's probably not an option. I would say just keep yourself busy and social. So I had Liv and Lizzie and Molly come round the night before as like a distraction sleepover, which was really nice. We went out with my family the day before results day, like for a birthday thing for my mom. Like I basically just kept myself surrounded by people and didn't let myself sit alone for too long, because if you sit alone for too long, you get in your own head, things get dangerous, it's just not useful. So I would say doesn't really matter what you do the night before, as long as you're keeping yourself busy and not just sat by yourself. Alex and Head says, if I fail, should I take a gap year instead of being rushed during clearing? I would say that this is a very personal decision. I know some people that did go through clearing and are absolutely super happy at the universities that they're at and really didn't find it a very rushy sort of process. From what I can see, that clearing is nowhere near as rushed as what people think that it is. Like, actually there are loads and loads and loads of courses on offer, so there's not like a frantic scramble for places. But if you feel like you'd want to resit an A-level perhaps, or you were really set on the university that you wanted to go to, or you know that you could do better if you did it again, then a gap year could be a good idea. But also you have to consider financially, like if you can support yourself through a gap year, whether that's going to be good for your mental health, what you're going to do in your gap year, if you're just going to reset A-levels. Like, it's a very personal decision, and I would say that that is definitely a decision that you need to talk through with your teachers and with your friends and your family and come to the right idea together. Megan said, how to stop overthinking about every possible outcome. I honestly can't help you there, because I would literally be like, oh, what if I got 3 A stars? But then the next minute I'd be like, what if I got 3 Ds? And I am by nature a very anxious, worry, overthinky human being. So I found it very difficult to do this. The only thought that really gave me comfort was that those marks have already been decided, and that nothing that you think is gonna help. So if I sit there and worry about it for like 6 hours, that 6 hours is gonna have zero impact on my actual results, because they're already decided, they're already in an envelope. Like, there's nothing that you can do. And I think the best mentality to have is have a plan for different outcomes, but once you've got the plan, put it in a box and cross that bridge when you come to it, because there's nothing you can realistically do between now and Thursday that's going to change your grades. All you can do is be prepared, but not overthink too much. Georgia Chapman said, should you open your results as a group with your parents or on your own? Again, this is a really, really personal decision. I personally opened mine not on my own, but not in a group. So I walked over to my English teachers and they were there, and my English teachers were like, congrats. I was like, okay, so they're good then. And I just opened them in the middle of the hall, kind of around people, but not like around people. On GCSE results day, we did open them as a group, and that probably wasn't the best idea for me, because then like you're reacting to lots of people's results at the same time and you don't really have time to process your own. But as I said, it's a very personal decision, and I would say on the day you will know what feels right for you, and I think just go with that. Like, if you want to open them by yourself outside, or you want to open them with all your friends, you'll know how to deal with the situation when it arises. Katie says, how do you cope with not getting the results that you wanted? First off, it's no reflection of your personal worth. You are still an amazing human being who's very talented, and just because the 3 letters or 4 letters on that piece of paper are not quite the letters that you were expecting doesn't mean that they're not results that you should be proud of and that you should show off to the world, because you have worked for those results and you have put effort in and you've put time into these A-levels, and you should be proud of yourself regardless of what you get. It's easy for me to say that when I know that if you have been working towards AAB or CCD and then you don't get what you want, it's hard and it's difficult and it's a shock. And I think the first thing that I would do if I haven't got what I wanted would be to remove myself, like from everybody else, sit down and just look at the mark breakdown of each individual paper, see how far off you were from next grade boundary. And first thing to consider is, do I want to get remarked? I know people who got remarked and their results went up quite considerably because they were quite close to a grade boundary anyway. If you don't want to think about remarks and you have just accepted that perhaps you've not done as well as you'd hoped, don't try and post-mortem it. Don't be like, why? Don't say, oh, if I'd have done this differently, if I'd have done that differently. The results are there in front of you and you can't change them. And I think one thing that I would really, really push home is, if you've got into the university that you wanted, or your insurance, or you find a course, no one at university ever has asked me what I got in my A-levels. Honestly, from about 3 days after A-level results day, people just don't care. And you are worth so much more than those results anyway. And whilst they may feel like big, big news right now, they will not be feeling like big, big news in like 2-3 weeks when everyone's off to uni and no one's ever going to question what you got ever again. Megan Louise says, is looking at grade boundaries a good idea? Yes and no. So I actually, did I? I did. I think I did. I must have done. I definitely did at GCSE and I definitely did at AS. I can't remember A2. But I personally liked looking at them because it kind of gave me an idea of what I was expecting to get. But I only ever looked at them the morning of. I never looked at it the night before, just because then it makes it difficult to sleep. But I personally think that it can be a good way of calming your nerves and actually showing you that they're not as high as you think they're going to be. Obviously that's a risk you have to decide whether you're prepared to take. I would say you will know in your heart of hearts whether or not you'll be able to cope with knowing the grade boundaries. If you are really worried about a certain result, I wouldn't. But if you kind of just need a bit of reassurance, they can be very useful, so yeah. Sammy Bark said, is results day too formal and therefore too much pressure? I personally found at my school that it was not formal at all. It was very relaxed. We just sort of like walked in and all our teachers were there and they spoke to us and chatted to us, and I just opened my results and that was that. And we celebrated together and we had chats with our friends, and then we went and got very drunk the evening of. So for me it wasn't that formal. I can understand that walking into a big hall and like picking up an envelope with your name on and stuff is like quite a scary thing to do, but I personally think that if you've got your friends there and your teachers there, it's really not that bad. Molly Crocombe asks, what is the actual process like, as in what happens when you get to school? So each school, I'm just going to say this now, is very different. Some schools open at like 6 AM, some schools put results online. My school personally opened at 9 AM for results. So what happened was, we drove to school, we parked, and we queued outside the hall, and then they opened the door at 9 AM and you walked in, and there they had different tables with different envelopes based on your surnames. They had like A to D and then like E to blah blah blah. So I walked over to the A to D section, and my 2 English teachers happened to be the ones that were manning that section, and I just got my envelope and my teachers were like, you've done amazingly, I'm very proud of you. And I was like, oh my god. Opened the results, cried like a baby. And then the fallout just happened after that. Like my friends were around, I was like, oh my god, like are you happy with how you've done, all this sort of stuff. And we just chatted, I looked at the grade boundaries, spoke to my teachers a bit more, and then I went home, and that was kind of how it happened. So I think that's generally what happens in most places. So it's very, very like simple. Your school will have given you information on like where you need to go, what you need to do, and it will all become very clear. But don't worry too much, because it is your school, like you're familiar with it, you know the people, you'll be fine. Chloe Caroline 3 says, I don't think I'm getting the grades for Oxford. How to deal with missing out on a dream at the last hurdle. First off, even getting an offer from Oxford or Cambridge is something that you should be so proud of, and so many people have not got an offer in the first place. And I'm not trying to say that because I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, you should be grateful for what you have, but just recognize that even getting an offer is like such a testament to how incredibly talented and smart you are. And not many people get offers from Oxford and Cambridge, and you should be really, really happy that you have. I personally thought I hadn't got the grades last year. I really thought I'd messed up my English Lit A-level. I was pretty alright about German and Spanish, but I really thought I'd messed up English Lit. And I started to get that feeling of like, I've worked for 7 years to get into Oxford, and I got into Oxford and then I didn't even get the damn grades. How stupid can I possibly be? I would just say you're not gonna know until you open that packet on Thursday. And I know people that didn't make their grades for Oxford and Oxford still let them in. Like, there are so many different circumstances that will factor into this, and you should just know that if you are clever enough and you are talented enough and you care about your subject enough to get an offer from Oxford, that's great, but it's probably also showing that you've worked hard enough to get the grades that you deserve to get into Oxford. So I'm keeping everything crossed for you, but just know that even if you do end up going to your insurance, which I'm sure won't happen, you will have just as much fun. I know so many people that either turned down Oxford or went to their insurance and are having a great time in Edinburgh or Bristol or Exeter or wherever. You'll be fine. Izzy Wood said, do you think you should check UCAS to see if you've got into uni before opening your results? Yes, personally I think so. I don't think I could have waited till 9 AM. I just don't. Like, I think it's good to just know what you're going to be dealing with when you walk into that hall. Either you've got it, so you know your minimum grades that you've got, or no, and that means that while you're on the way to school you can start thinking about how you're going to deal with it. Like, don't wait to open track until after you've got your results, because there's just no point. It's just better to know, and it makes everything a lot easier to deal with, I think. Evie Moss says, when do grade boundaries come out? I think it depends. Amy's watching me from over there. Please go away. Come get your shoes then.
It is for your benefit as well.
No, it just made me laugh.
Everybody.
Classic.
you need anything, some snacks, condom.
Diet Coke would be great.
You all.
Bye. Evie said, when do grade boundaries come out? So they usually come out the day before, I believe, but don't hold me to that because I can't quite remember. I think they come out within the 48-hour bracket around. If you're on Twitter, you'll know because everyone will be tweeting about them. Just try and manage the inner hysteria you're probably feeling because everyone else is feeling it too. Laura Michelle says, how do I tell my friends I don't want to share my results with them immediately? You just tell them. If they go, hey, what did you get? You're gonna be like, I will probably tell you at some point, but right now I just need some time and some space to process my results, and any self-respecting person will give you that time and give you that space. And nobody should be annoyed at you. And likewise, if you say to somebody, how did you do? And they're like, I just need some time and some space to process, like, respect that, because everybody deals with results day differently. Everybody's gonna have different time to process. Everyone's gonna need space or less space. Like, everyone's got their own conditions under which they're gonna do results day. And as long as everybody is respectful of that, there should be no misunderstandings, no hard feelings, and everybody will be happy and together. Anna J. Thomas said, how to process the fact that you'll actually be going to university. First off, massive freaking congratulations. You got through 2 years of A-levels, you've got a place at university, and you're going on to get a frigging degree. Claps to you. You're all amazing, and I cannot express to you how proud I am of every single one of you that is doing that. In terms of processing, I didn't really for a few days. I kind of just sat there and was like, I'm going to Oxford, how's that one happened? Teehee. And then you start getting emails from the university with reading lists and like information about accommodation and things, and you're like, oh, right, so I am actually going to university. That's definitely a thing that's happening. So I would say the first thing to do is to just make a to-do list. Be like, okay, so what have I got to do? I've got to sort out my accommodation, I've got to sort out my clothing, I've got to like get my books and everything like that. Enjoy that time. It's a really exciting time, and also you've got time to worry. Like, you don't need to go to university straight away. You have a month or 2 months in my case to like sort yourself out, and everything will fall into place, will be okay, I promise you. So in terms of processing it, just be happy, you deserve to be. So those are all the questions that I have time for today. As I said, in terms of advice, specific advice for results day, I'm literally gonna put all of the results videos that I can possibly find, that I've done, that other people have done, in the description. Be sure to watch them and prepare yourself as much as you can. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts, feelings, questions about results day, and I'm gonna try and reply to as many comments as is physically possible. And yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah, thank you to Uni Compare for working with me on this video. I'm very, very happy to be working with them again. Make sure you guys download the app, for goodness sake. It's such a good app. And yeah, good luck. Everything's crossed for you, and I'll see you very soon with another new video. Bye guys. Mwah.